Hello and welcome back to Second Take Movies, a podcast where we give movies a second look, second chance, a second take, if you will. I'm your host, Preston Jenkinson, and joining me as always is my co-host, Jake Twido.
Preston, what up?
He's got more expensive water, it looks like.
Yeah, dude, Topo Chico. Give me that Blinko Blanco.
Spider-Man 3. I hadn't seen it since I graduated high school, the night it came out.
I have not seen it
and I watched it
in theaters
again a couple weeks ago when it came on Disney Plus, and then that gave me the idea to watch it here.
I have watched the YouTube, TikTok, whatever the kids are doing,
of
him jumping. Later in the movie, when Topher Grace is trying to take a picture of him, and he pulls his camera and throws it and goes, "See you later, chump." There's an awesome YouTube video that I'm going to send you, and there's a fart noise when he jumps. I've watched that. Yeah. No, it's the echo reverb cloud
several times, in different things.
Man, I tell you, that's way better than this movie.
See ya, chump.
See ya, chump.
The story of Spider-Man 3. A strange black entity from another world bonds with Peter Parker and causes inner turmoil as he contends with new villains, temptations, and revenge.
I just realized something. They don't ever call it Venom.
Venom. No, they don't.
Yeah, it's odd.
It was added in by one of the worst people in Hollywood, in Avi Arad. But, everything good and bad you love. It's like Kathleen Kennedy. Anything good and bad you love or hate about Spider-Man was his fault.
She sucks. Sorry. Sorry, yeah. I just had this weird connect. Bryce Dallas Howard is in this movie.
Oh yeah, that threw me off.
She was Gwen, right?
Yeah, she's Gwen Stacy.
Yeah.
Which usually she's dead before Mary Jane shows up, but that's
and that's I'm not trying to be a stupid a hyper nerd, but it's always wait a minute, you're not supposed to be here. This isn't supposed to happen.
They're both alive at the same time, but he dates Gwen Stacy before Mary Jane. It's a thing. The
good review. I got it right now from the Variety. Robert Anderson says that jazz scene was intense and I loved it. 5 stars. I made that up clearly, but yeah.
I've got one from Michael Reckstaffen from the Hollywood Reporter. The wow factor works overtime with state-of-the-art effects sequences that often are as beautiful as they are astonishing.
You know what? The
effect is really good.
I think for the time, this thing looked pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is all filmed on film probably, right? Or is this digital now?
No, it was film.
Yeah, it's the quality of the actual, it doesn't look like a 90s, 2000s movie. Mm-hmm. Still looks pretty good.
Because the MCU shot on film from Iron Man all the way to the first Avengers.
Well, I'm going to quit clicking because that's what I was trying to figure out just now.
And their first film they shot on digital was Iron Man 3. And you can tell a difference.
I was about to say, yeah, that makes sense. But the effects in this, some of them are awful. But overall, I remember watching this in the theater.
The Sandman one is done very well.
I feel like that's the only reason they made him as a villain. I think the only reason they picked him was we can show off our VFX.
Well, I think he was the only intended villain, and then the studio added in your Goblin Jr. and your Venom. But anyway.
I'm going to say you straight. I hate that villain of the Sandman. Mm-hmm. But I love Thomas Hayden Church.
Yeah. He's good in Far From Home. Or No Way Home.
Well, you know what sucks? I'll give me the negative review, then I'll tell you more.
This is just from Village Voice. We don't have an author for this one. Given that Spider-Man 2 was twice as fun as the first, it's triply disappointing what an oversight. Let me try to take that again. Our negative review from Village Voice is, given that Spider-Man 2 was twice as fun as the first, it's triply disappointing what and overwrought bore S3 turns out to be?
Preston, I'm going to give you some personal details about my life. I can't
Okay.
read out loud. I legitimately can't. I have to read it and memorize it, and then I can read it.
If I'm not being stupid or doing a funny voice with it or acting or anything, I can't read stuff.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
When I learned how to read in school, I think I could be remembering all this very incorrectly. Let me go ahead and make sure. There was this initiative of a new way to read.
Mm-hmm.
Kershaw, where I grew up, not the highest, wealth in the world.
Oh.
So you definitely take on whatever. I learned to speed read, essentially. It's like I look at the middle of a sentence and go left and go right.
Mm.
It makes sense, kind of, but when you read out loud, it's bad. So my biggest fear. So whenever you read one of those things, I'm like, thank God it's not me.
I took a theater class in high school where we had scripts in hand when we performed, and that was easy for me. But like to sit there and read something out loud if I'm not acting was like, no.
Isn't that funny? Yeah. It's like if I'm performing and singing, I can sing what I see exactly. It's fine. Mm-hmm. It's just reading it, or like if I was in a couple plays. I could read it and act it, and it's fine, but I couldn't use my voice. I don't know. But sorry, that negative review. Yeah, this movie, Sam Raimi went to Sam Raimi on it. I think it's his fault. I mean,
it's.
I don't know. It's just like I feel like
there's a lot of dumb stuff in this movie.
And a lot of weird dumb stuff.
Your dancing scene and your emo Spider-Man. Which I think were Raimi ideas. I think he put those in to be kind of silly.
They're hilarious, but
maybe too silly.
It's just like out of all the things you could have done, and this is my whole problem with the Sony hero stuff. Out of all the things you could have done with all your characters, you did this.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what you did with this. Is that
the only thing they had was Spider-Man at the time?
Yeah, but you can follow it with like I don't know, Fantastic Four.
That was over Fox.
Oh, you're right. I'm an idiot. I just combined both.
Yeah.
Never mind. Take it back. Roll it. Well, okay, Fox and Sony.
Marvel tried a couple years ago to buy Spider-Man back, and Sony wanted what they spent on the entire Fox studio. And they were like, "No, dude."
I hate it. I hate it because I know the trajectory was Spider-Man takes over Iron Man, and then that fizzled out because greedy people.
Because there's even
filtered myself. Did you hear that? I caught what I was going to say and made it people.
There's even an alternate take of Nick Fury's first end credit scene in Iron Man where he's talking about, I got to deal with guys crawling on walls and blah blah blah, and it's like because they were like, maybe they'll let us use it, and then they were like, no. And it's like, okay.
So you and I both kind of had the same experience with this movie, though. Like saw it in the theaters.
Mm-hmm. I saw it. It came out the same day I graduated high school, and a bunch of us went and saw it that night. And as soon as that little black fluid shot down in an asteroid from space, I remember being in the theater being like, oh no.
This movie starts.
Yeah.
Peter Parker goes to. Does it start with him going to see Mary Jane?
It starts with like,
with him getting crystallized.
I'm Spider-Man. Life is so great. Blah 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 blah. Tobey Maguire.
Logan just walked up the stairs where you're going blah 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 blah, and she's dying laughing.
Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, she wants more. Don't do it.
Blah blah. Don't. But Tobey Maguire is the worst Peter Parker.
It's weird because in Spider-Man, No Way Home, he's incredible.
Yes,
he is. But he's also
20 years older.
Yeah, which I think doesn't really, I don't know. But I walked into this with that mindset of like, man, it was so good to see him in that movie. He's the best. And then watch this and went, yeah, he sucks. Like,
Well, like there had to be something going on behind the scenes because Amazing, like Spider-Man 2 is one of the best superhero movies there is.
yeah,
In my
I
opinion.
agree. I mean, it is phenomenal.
And I even think Sam Raimi himself said that if he could go back, he wouldn't make this movie.
Yeah, he's on record of being like, I was so disappointed with how this turned out. I really wanted a fourth movie to make
Like,
up for it.
He loves Spider-Man himself so much.
Yeah, which is where like I feel, I don't know, man. It's
He said his two favorite characters have always been Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, and he got to do a Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah. This, granted, I mean, this is the worst one of that trilogy.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
But he life is great for him. He's Spider-Man. Mary Jane is on Broadway, and it's like life is great, but also it's like, yeah, he's kind of ignoring other parts of his life and is kind of being self-centered right now.
Yeah. My notes are like, whoa, this Spider-Man's a dunce.
Yeah.
And then I put Kristen Dunst is a selfish jerk.
Yeah, she's the worst.
It's so weird though, because you left Spider-Man 2 loving both of them.
Yeah.
Being so, and like then they did this, and it's I don't know. I'm already just.
She's in this play on Broadway, and then he, of course, on his way there, he he gets the ring from Aunt May.
Yeah.
After all this, because he wants to propose, and then on his way there, he gets jacked up by the Goblin or New Goblin or
Harry Osborn. I'm gonna avenge my father's death. With James Franco, what did he get canceled for? Was he touching little girls or something?
No, he was taking advantage of his students in an acting class in NYU and forcing them into cars and doing bad stuff.
Because he hadn't been in squat anymore, right?
No, and even Seth Rogen's like, yeah, I'm not working with him.
I like. Even at the time, that's a terrible casting. I get why they got James Franco, but
he's a handsome dude.
But that's it.
Yeah.
I mean,
his brother's the better actor, in my opinion. But
definitely.
And a better person.
Yeah. And married to Annie from Community.
Yeah. So he's
already boobs. Sorry. It's a Community joke. That's not me necessarily calling out her boobs. Anyway, so they're stargazing in the park.
Yeah.
He's got his pizza scooter still.
Well, yeah, the part where he hasn't been attacked by Harry yet.
Yeah. The symbiote
gets
in it.
Delayed by like, you don't have to stop every crime, by the way. Jeez, that's my one annoying thing. But he gets held up on his way to a play, and she's upset because he didn't come to the play. And that's because
not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
Opening scene. No, yeah, he's there cheesing it up. The two fat dudes sit beside him. That's later. Yeah. That's what I thought when I was watching this. I went, well, this movie opens up with her being mad at him, right? And he got there, and I'm like, whoa, my memory sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, why is she mad at him for not coming? Because she has this stupid excuse like, oh, these friends have seen it 3 times, or these friends.
Oh shoot, Preston, that's Spider-Man 2.
Is that Spider-Man 2?
That's Spider-Man 2.
I thought that was this one.
I don't think so. I think all that's Spider-Man 2. And this one, he shows up. She gets kicked out of Broadway right away.
Yes, after the first performance, which is not realistic because like she's auditioned, she's got the part, she knows the blocking and the lines.
Dude,
you're going to replace her mid-production? I don't think so.
I've been a part of so many musicals, just to go ahead and do one of these. They don't do that, man. Like I think I've been a part of 7, and I played an orchestra or wrote the music for it.
Yeah,
I think it takes 2 months for them to recast. Nobody does it behind the person's back. If you're on the bill, like the title marquee, like I don't know, most of these people are professional enough to know like it's not working. But they've done so many practices. I guess it's off Broadway, so maybe it's whatever.
But she's done so many rehearsals. You're going to replace her mid production and try to teach that to somebody else?
And that's where one of my notes is: does this movie suck, or am I just an adult now? And all these things aren't logical, and I have problems with it. Like,
some of both.
Speaking of Kristen Dunst, every scream in this movie she does is from the first and second movie.
Yep. Which I don't blame her.
No.
You've already kidnapped me twice in these movies. Just
Forget
use the screams. I'm not screaming anymore.
Yeah. No, that's the second movie
where
she doesn't show up. She gets fired. But that's so the two movies blend, and I think that's why in my head I'm like, this movie's not that bad.
Yeah,
but no.
So they are in the park. They're in one of his webs, and they're stargazing, and everything is wonderful. And then the symbiote hits.
Yeah, and gets on the pizza scooter.
Yeah,
goes to Peter's apartment, and then Spider-Man's out and about. Oh, I'm like, my dad doesn't have a thick Minnesotan accent. That's where he's from.
Okay,
I have no reason to have any.
Yeah, you have no Minnesota accent.
I shouldn't at all. But there are words that I hear, and I'm like, out and about, and it's like, this is not whatever. Minnesota, don't you know? So he fights Peter. Peter wins and gives him amnesia.
Goblin jacks him up, and it's just, oh my god, it's so stupid.
I hated it, man.
And the way he gets it is Peter puts a web across two buildings. He hits that with his throat.
And freaking Peter's like, I didn't know that was going to happen. I'm a genius. I know physics.
At incredible speeds, hits a fire escape. It's like that scene at the end of John Wick 3 where he jumped, where at the end where he falls off the building. It's just like that. He hits the ground with the same strength, and he's just like taking him to the hospital. Oh, he's got amnesia. Hey, Pete.
Hey, Pete. That dumb. Is Peter a black guy at this point? Is Peter a black suit at this point? Is Spider-Man wearing the black suit? No, he's not.
He's not black guy at this point. No.
I'm sorry.
He's still white. Even in the black suit, he's white.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, but he hasn't gotten the black suit yet. That's when everything starts to go wrong in his life.
I just love. I mean, James Franco, his like grinning cheese face.
But like he takes him home, and is just like, oh, he's got amnesia now. He won't remember. What about like the military grade weapons in his house? You don't want to like sneak in and get rid of those real quick while he doesn't know about
Butler. F the Butler.
The Butler's tiny. Why is he still working?
Dude's like, the very end of the movie, do not skip ahead, tells him like, oh, Peter didn't kill your dad. I know it. You waited this long to tell him, dude? Like, what?
Which there's an alternate cut where that's not even a conversation. And it's like, the original story was Gwen Stacy was supposed to be kidnapped. And Mary Jane comes over and says, hey, you need to go help Peter because you're friends. Quit being a dick. But that didn't make it into the movie.
I feel like there's a lot of bad edits in this.
Yeah.
Or like they filmed it, changed them in a different way.
I think it was reshot last minute, maybe.
As a matter of fact, I did look it up. It's in my notes, but I got this from IMDb. I'm not that smart. James Franco was like, we had to go back and do reshoots before the release because the test audiences didn't like the movie. But predominantly, they didn't think there was enough action.
Which
Yeah. He gets amnesia. That's where we get the introduction of the real villain, Flint Marko.
Who is an escaped bank robber.
Did he actually, in the comics, did he actually kill Peter's dad?
No.
Yeah, that whole plot line was just
Which
stupid.
that was, which makes me think that was they made Sam Raimi added in, because
Yeah,
Peter's whole character arc is, yes, he starts out with a motive of revenge, but he gets that guy in the first movie. So from that point on, it's just like he's doing what he thinks is right. It's not a motive of revenge for him. So to bring in the Sandman and have him be the actual guy that shot his dad just kills all that.
can I be honest? I think the biggest success of the modern Spider-Man, which I want to see, sadly though, there's no origin story. Ben Parker, not a big deal. Uncle Ben
Well,
is dull.
that's what we've got with the new Spider-Man right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, yeah, this is great, and like the all three of them in No Way Home discussing like all of our Bens died.
Yeah,
That's it. There's no story driven point of this is the guy that got your dad, Spider-Man.
but like, with Tobey Maguire being the first Spider-Man movie, like you got to do that.
Yeah.
Like,
It's just like
that's
first
like
movie.
if
Sure.
the Batman had started with Thomas and Martha Wayne's death, it'd be like, okay, we get it. Which is why I love that movie so much. But
positive comment, 'cause I'm ragging it hard.
yeah,
That whole Flint Marco scene of him getting departicleized or
he
whatever,
turned
particle
into
accelerated.
Sandman.
I'm like, yeah, it's dated, but I was still pretty dang impressed
Yeah.
of like, whoa, I don't know how they did this. I mean, like this is great.
Also, scientists, let's put a camera in there. Let's check out what changed the mass.
Oh
and the
God,
scanner.
that killed me. It must have been a bird. I'm like, no, there's no way you're not
He'll fly
monitoring
away.
this crap.
It's like, no, like an extra 200 something pounds just got added. I think you should check it.
When does that slut Gwen Stacy get kidnapped? Is that right here?
No, she never gets kidnapped. She's in danger.
The crowd. Oh God, a crane goes crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I really checked out, and I went, "Oh, this is a stupid movie.
Yeah,
this is a stupid movie."
but
Crane goes crazy.
Well, before all that, Flint Marco, we have to. He's like, he has a daughter who needs a surgery.
Yeah,
so he's a bank robber, and so we kind of leave him alone for a little bit. We leave that, and we cut to Gwen Stacy is doing a modeling job in
an office building with a copier.
Yeah,
what is she banging that printer? Like,
who knows?
Yeah, that's my notes. Like, this is a weird porn. Let me tell you right now.
And so the crane malfunctions and which I don't think it would swing around like that. I think it would just stop. But
no, it'd fall. Like those are all whatever the mechanic is in that. If it failed, it wouldn't. Yeah, no.
It would either drop the thing or it would just stop. So it knocks down this building. She comes flying out. Spider-Man saves the day. But during all that, down there, the police commissioner, who is Captain Stacy, played by the farmer from Babe, Pig in the City.
Oh my God, that's him. Oh my gosh. I was like, why is this guy so familiar? That's him.
And that also introduces us to Eddie
the
Brock.
worst casted person in the world. I like Topher Grace. I think he's cool.
Great.
This was not for him.
This is not the role for him. Which
neither is Tom Hardy. I don't know. He plays
Tom Hardy's pretty good. Tom Hardy, I liked his Venom.
Yeah.
Didn't like the Venom movies.
I'm about to say, yeah. Let me take it back. I'm combining the two.
Tom Hardy if Tom Hardy was Tom Hardy back then,
yeah,
so much better for this role. Anyway,
Eddie Brock.
He's, I guess, the only excuse I can give it is he was supposed to be like the anti Peter Parker, so he's supposed to be like a evil skinny nerdy dude, I guess. But that's not what Venom is.
All right, let me be a nerd. I can't remember. Eddie Brock was an astronaut, right?
No, Eddie Brock was a reporter.
Who was the astronaut?
That is J. Jonah Jameson's son, which was in the
Okay.
second movie.
So that's why. Okay,
And
got it.
originally, he's the one that brings the symbiote back to Earth.
That's where the okay. All right, cool. Well,
So
I'm
they
not.
could have set that up in the second movie, but they obviously didn't plan on putting Venom in this movie, so they didn't put it in the second movie. He's like,
But he saves.
that's Stacy. And
I'm banging your daughter.
He's like, oh, I'm dating your daughter. It's like, is that the time to bring this up? Really? So that, yeah. And then, so he saves her. And for some reason, well, after that, Mary Jane gets fired from mid-production from a Broadway play. And the city has decided to hold a celebration for Spider-Man because he saved 4 people out of an office building.
I don't know if that deserves the key to the city.
No, he's
maybe
done,
it's an accumulation of stuff, but
like he's stopped the Goblin at this point. He stopped Dr. Octavius from making the sun. Feel like he's deserved that before, but during this is when he makes the terrible mistake of kissing Gwen Stacy upside down the way he kissed Mary Jane in the first movie.
I don't understand. Like, Peter Parker, what are you thinking, dude?
He's high on himself because dude, he didn't even notice that his girl ain't feeling right. And he's like, hey, well, look at me. I'm so great. And I'm going to be
I'm also kind of like, yeah, Peter Parker effing rules. Screw Mary Jane. This dude's like positive. Like,
no,
hey, man, you'll get out of this. Mary Jane, you'll get out of this. But you know what?
Him even more now that he's happy instead of being sad.
I kind of agree. But what you do get to see is Peter Parker watching the daggone marching band tooting and him doing that little jig. God, I could watch that on repeat. I don't even give a crap. I'd watch that every day.
Watch that every day.
But that's when Flint Marko shows up to ruin the parade. Accidentally.
Yes.
Captures an armored... He's stealing money from an armored truck.
Mm. Is it him?
Yeah, it's him.
Yeah, and this is Spider-Man being introduced to Sandman.
Stupid villain. I'm just going to say this 5 more times.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb.
I mean, like, you've got so many other people you could have grabbed.
Yeah.
Which, I'm still heartbroken that, what is it, Kraven the Hunter?
Yeah.
What? Give me that movie. Give me him hunting Spider-Man. I'm in.
Aaron Taylor Johnson is playing him, but I doubt he'll ever cross paths with Spider-Man. But I am excited to see that. See Aaron Taylor Johnson do that. So,
do you what are the? Sorry, no, I'm not saying sorry. Whatever. What are the odds we see Deadpool and Spider-Man together?
Probably pretty good. Maybe if Ryan Reynolds keeps doing it.
I'd also poop my pants for a Wolverine. Oh, we're getting that.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, sorry, I was saying it and went, oh, wait a minute.
You feel free.
Yeah, but like this, again, we've already mentioned already. Captain Stacy goes to tell Aunt May, or they call him in. We found your father's real killer.
It was actually Flint Marko, and he's escaped. And then Peter gets mad.
Which I guess that's how the symbiote.
Well, actually,
right?
I think the Sandman thing happens after, because that's when he's laying in the bed in the Spider-Man suit and he's feeling dejected. That's when the black ooze comes crawling up.
Yeah.
And attaches itself, and he wakes up on his side. Which that was the shot from the trailer, which was amazing.
Yeah.
Like he crawls up, the thing attaches to him, and he wakes up on the side of a building, which is how it happened in the animated series.
God, dude, that animated series,
it was the best.
I think about the 90s X-Men and Spider-Man. I mean, that unparalleled. Just That's what I want Marvel movies to be. Is just I don't know. I don't know if we've gotten that yet.
It's come close a couple times.
Yeah.
But
yeah, now he's a black boy, and he
now he's got all the power and strength and agility, and then he takes it to Dr. Curtis Connors, who was supposed to be the Lizard Man in the fourth movie. There was a fourth movie that was being made.
Yeah, I had a feeling that he was gonna. That was the projection.
And Bruce Campbell, who has been in all three of these movies, was going to be Mysterio, and
I would have killed for that.
He was going to be in the opening scene, like Spider-Man caught him at the opening scene, and the main villain was going to be the Vulture, played by John Malkovich.
Bruce Campbell in this movie is a delight. I think we skipped him already.
Yeah, he was the usher at the door.
He goes to propose. It's just like Bruce Campbell is just, I don't know, man. He is just one of those guys. Like every time I see him, it's
he's the maitre d' in this movie. See, I got confused.
Maitre d'.
Because is that when they break up? No, that's when like they just have relationship troubles. He tries to propose, and she's like, "You've been like a dick, dude, right now."
And he's not the symbiote yet. It's still just him being positive, and
they're not broken up yet. So he takes this goo to Kurt Connors, and he says, "It's like a symbiote. It's really excited about you. I wouldn't get any of that on you." So he proceeds to next time he gets a call about the Sandman on the radio, and then he just immediately jumps in that black suit and goes after him.
Then you get that awful fight scene of
where he like scrapes his head along the train.
Yeah, actually, that fight's not that bad.
That's pretty awesome. Like
it is. I'm sorry, I got mixed up in them. Yeah, that was great. I was
a bunch of great into this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he thinks he kills the Sandman. Then he goes to tell Aunt May, like, oh, and right before he goes in the sewer, it doesn't have much to do with the story, but there is a rivalry between him and Eddie Brock at this point because
Eddie Brock wants the job.
Yeah, Eddie Brock wants a job, and Jameson has said, whoever brings me the next picture of Spider-Man gets the job.
Let's be clear. Jonah Jameson, that will always be that actor.
Well, that's why they recast him in the Tom Holland thing. It's like, nobody else can play that.
Freaking on. I mean, I can't see a still image of him, like a comic, and not hear his voice. Just, old Simone's.
Whoever played him in the animated series came close.
Yeah, I agree.
But it is J.K. Simmons is J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah.
You can try to make him Commissioner Gordon, but no.
I can't remember what happens next, man. There's like a black hole of just Peter
there's a lot
being
of stuff.
mad, hallucinating his father.
Harry
recovers.
Yeah, Harry recovers, and Mary Jane goes to him for support because Peter's being kind of like a dick. I can't remember when he turns into emo guy. Right after he breaks up with
right after he breaks up.
So
because she loves somebody else.
Yeah, because Harry gains back all his memories somehow. And I don't remember how. He looks at something, remember something? I don't know.
I think he sees the Green Goblin mask, maybe?
Yes, he sees his dad in the mirror.
No, he sees his dad. Yeah, it's a hallucination.
Sees his dad in the mirror. After him and Mary Jane have a weird omelet making scene. And
so many weird things in this movie, man.
Cut that out and be fine. Sees his dad in the mirror. He's like, "Oh, I'm Goblin again." And then he goes and threatens Mary Jane to break up with Peter Parker. Which, in that scene on the bridge, I feel like you probably know he's watching from afar, but I feel like you could just whisper at Peter and be like, "Hey, I don't want to break up, but Harry's got his memory back and he's a dick again. he wants us to break up. So just act sad for like a minute and then like go wax his ass because you took care of his dad. I feel like you could be
Yeah,
sad.
well, instead, Peter gets in a fight with him and blows off his face.
That's a pretty good scene. Like,
Yeah. I was like, oh, I forgot about this.
like the way it shows that like, oh, Spider-Man's been holding back with what he could do to somebody if he really wanted to hurt somebody. Like,
Well,
he's been
Preston,
holding.
I don't know if you know this, but with great power comes pretty great responsibility.
Yeah. Or like,
Ugh.
what was it? Martin Sheen said in his version? It was, if you had an ability to do something, you should do that thing or something. It's like either say it or don't. All right.
By the way, I got to tell you, I wasn't 100%. I didn't cry, but like teared up, tears fell with Stan Lee in this movie.
He's in this
I
movie?
forget. Yeah, I forget he cameoed all the movies.
Oh yeah.
It just enough said. That's all he said, and it was just like, oh man,
He did. He started that going back to X-Men.
yeah. It really got me. I don't know why. It was just like I forget he's dead.
Yeah.
I mean, people die, but that's
Yeah.
all right. But it got me. But
So Peter,
nothing like a cartoon rocket does though.
Oh God.
The cartoon raccoon.
Peter and Harry meet at a coffee shop over some pie, and Harry's like, "Hey, I'm the guy," you know. And that's when he does emo.
That's when he does emo.
Because they get in a fight and he falls down this thing or gets back at his apartment or something. After he beats up Harry. No, after they have their meeting, he confronts Harry. No.
Yeah, and that's when he blows him up.
Yeah, that's after before the confrontation with Harry, he moves his hair down and becomes emo Peter Parker. And has the
after that fight, freaking Eddie Brock forges a photo to make Peter Parker like a criminal, and he gets hired.
I'm gonna put dirt in your
Peter
mouth.
To get mad or get back. Peter brings his girlfriend to a jazz club.
Well, first of all, he gets even with Eddie Brock because he realizes that's one of his old photos that's been messed with, and he gets Eddie Brock fired.
Yeah,
then
you're right.
He goes to what's her face, takes her out to the jazz club that Mary Jane works at.
Yeah.
But before that, he goes and gets a suit.
This whole sequence is the funniest thing I've ever watched. It's not funny in the way they want it to be either.
No. Just like the symbiote hitting the earth at the beginning of the movie, where I went, "Oh no!" Watching this scene for the very first time when I was 18 years old, I was like, "Oh my God, what has happened?" I just remember a wave of confusion went through the theater. Like, I don't remember a lot of theater experiences. I remember this one.
I remember people audibly going, "Huh?"
Yeah. Like, it was me, my sister, and my future brother-in-law at the time, and some other people. And I just remember hearing, like, what? Because I honestly think Sam Raimi thought that was hilarious. Like, I could see that's something he thinks is hilarious.
What a weird guy.
He is. He's weird, but he's talented.
Interesting. I mean, like, not in a bad way. I mean, I'm weird. Yeah. Trust me, I'm not.
Yeah.
But
you have to be weird to make Ash versus the Evil Dead. Like,
I just realized James Franco was making Pineapple Express at the same time as this movie.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I looked it up because, like, when did Pineapple Express come out? He was filming both at the same time.
Well, I guess he was. It shows you what kind of actor he was. I mean,
yeah, token on dope.
Well, Oscar Isaac was making, but he wasn't in that movie a lot. Oh shoot, the one where Natalie Portman confronts aliens.
Not
Arrival.
my future because I want to marry her. Oh shoot, what is that? I haven't seen it, but
it's the same director as shoot. It's gonna bother me.
I gotta look it up. It's gonna bother me too. Don't edit this out, Preston. Let everyone know just this is how dumb we are. And
yeah, usually I can like rattle this stuff off pretty quickly.
Annihilation.
Yes. Oscar Isaac was shooting The Last Jedi at the same time as Annihilation. So
let me ask you something. Got a guy here.
Yeah.
Natalie Portman. She's fine, right?
Yeah, she cute.
Cool. All right. Carry on. Did you know that she was in Leon the Professional?
Yes, that was her first acting role.
I've never watched that movie.
It's pretty good.
I really want to. I love everyone in there. Just
that guy plays the weird Frenchman in the Godzilla 1998 movie.
Jean Reno.
Leon. French special forces for some reason they are in New York studying the Godzilla.
French fraud.
Iguana looking Godzilla. I don't like that. Anyway, so
yeah. Let's get hot into it, buddy. Let's just get into it. The best part of this entire movie happens right over here. They get that suit. He's walking around. We've seen the memes shooting guns at people. Dude, I'm in it. This is the best movie ever made. At this point, I was so pumped watching this.
Also, the other thing, there's women on the street, and every other one is like either attracted or like disgusted. So, which is it?
Oh, they're all disgusted, man. They're all.
Is he supposed to be cool or not? Like, what are we supposed to think about him at this point?
I'm going to make a comment that I was going to make. You feel free to cut this, but they're all dry as the Sahara Desert looking at him.
You right. That's the truth.
I mean, like, every one of them was like, "Arr!" I just love that, like, the Venom confidence in him. Yeah.
Look at me. Which some have said that's what a nerdy guy like him would think is cool, but that doesn't excuse it.
Cool. But he brings Gwen Stacy to the daggum jazz club. Doesn't he get up dancing to the jazz? Like,
it's jazz.
This thing went way off the rails.
Plays piano. How does he know how to play piano?
Well, he's got spotter senses, man.
Not only that, but jazz piano.
Yeah, which that's hard.
Yeah,
like I can sit here and goof off. Yeah. Like I can't jazz it up that hard. I can play jazz guitar great, not piano.
So they start dancing and end up right at the feet of Mary Jane, and like Gwen is like, this was all to make her jealous, and she leaves, and she's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, and then he gets in a fight.
I'm gonna be an idiot.
Okay,
she's a natural redhead.
Yep.
Who dyed her hair blonde to play Gwen. Mary Jane's a natural redhead.
Yep.
Natural blonde that went red.
Yep.
It's funny. Sorry. And there's nothing to say. It's just like, oh, that's
Bryce
funny.
Dallas Howard is prettier than Kirsten Dunst, but you know.
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that's probably the truth.
That is the truth. Yeah, you've got Opie's daughter. Like, you didn't think about casting Opie's daughter as Mary Jane? Opie is as redheaded as they come. Did you not know that Ron Howard was Opie?
No, I knew that. I didn't.
You didn't know that was his daughter? Yeah.
No, I did. We've had this moment on this podcast once before. You were the one that told me originally, like a year and a half ago. I just forgot. I don't. Oh.
So,
all right. Hey, this is a great podcast. Let's close it here. This
is where Peter Parker's had enough, and because he hits Mary Jane in the middle of the fight with the bouncer.
Yeah, didn't he slap her tit?
No, he punches her right in the face,
which is really disturbing. When I watched it, I went, "Oh, this
went from stupid to like
float these days."
Serious, yeah. So he goes to a bell tower and attempts to rip this thing off of him with a body double that is not Tobey Maguire.
Oh god, yeah, it was 100% him.
Because he didn't want to work out for this movie, which fair.
Oh yeah, because his suit's 100% padding.
Yeah, it's like
we
get it.
Good, cool.
Spider-Man doesn't need to be this huge muscular guy anyway. Like,
which is funny because Topher Grace gained like 25 pounds.
Well, he was super skinny when he got the role.
And then he tried to like research alcoholics and drug addicts to figure out how to act. It didn't help him. Just letting you know.
So and wouldn't you know it, Eddie Brock is down in the church praying as well, and the stuff drips down on him, and that's when he becomes Venom. Even though we're never say that, and he's in the movie for only 15 minutes because there's only 30 minutes left of this movie. 2 hours, 2.5 hours. This movie is almost pretty much.
You made a comment earlier, and I meant to say it. There's a lot of bloat that probably should have been cut.
A lot of stuff that could be cut.
A lot of superfluous, whatever.
Superfluous.
I want to point something out.
Yep.
Too. I was talking about Pineapple Express. Do you know what else was happening right around this time? The Dark Knight.
Yeah,
the Dark Knight came out a year. I think less than a year, but a calendar year.
Came out July of 2008.
Yeah. So this movie sucks. In comparison of like,
well,
The Dark Knight came out.
You know what else came out in May of 2008?
Caitlyn Jenner?
No, not yet. Iron Man.
No crap, you're right.
Yeah.
You were right. I thought there was a huge... Okay.
So that's why... Because Kevin Feige was a producer on these movies. So like when he started...
I didn't know that.
That's why he thought that he could possibly rope all this stuff into the same thing.
I'm going to tell you something right now. I hope by all things... This is just how I think, and I know I'm awful. I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. I do not want anything to come out about Kevin Feige ever.
I don't.
Like, what a cool guy. Like, just a nerd. I don't know, man. I just don't.
Nerdy guy that's been doing it since literally the year 2000 when they made the first X-Men movie.
That cracker was born with a hat on his head.
Well, no, he was balding. He didn't wear a hat. In the behind the scenes footage of Iron Man, he was not wearing a hat, and it was receding.
Yeah, sorry. Jazz Club, everything goes crazy. Eddie Brock's there. Get the Chefloff gun of sound.
Yeah. Like the thong, and it reacts.
Combines with Eddie Brock, the new Venom.
What's that Eminem song? Venom.
I don't even know.
Venom. So, long story short, kidnaps Mary Jane with the Sandman. They fight.
Why did he? I can't remember it. Why did he get the Sandman on his side?
He was just like, "Hey, you want to kill the spider? I want to kill the spider." That was it.
But he doesn't want to kill the spider.
Yeah, he does.
Sandman does?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, kidnap Mary Jane. Fight on top of this building. Throw some poles in the ground, make some sound, disrupt the Venom, throw a bomb in there. Because Harry shows up. Harry shows up as well to help out. And then he dies.
Just like his dad. What a loser.
Like a
freaking loser. You should die. Hobgoblin's better. Die.
Yeah. Harry dies. Topher Grace explodes in the Venom suit because he's trapped by sound, and he jumps into the suit, and they throw a bomb, and he explodes. I think Sam Raimi, like, this thing is definitely dead. Don't ask me to bring it back.
Yeah, he killed it. I do. I will say, like, that whole Sandman scene though, I enjoyed that. I was like, this is really good acting.
Yeah, he's
like, no, not even joking. I paused it, rewound it, and went, "This is really good."
Because he figures out that it's Peter, and he remembers him from the night that he accidentally killed Ben Parker. He didn't actually kill him, like, maliciously.
You and I watching this now, again, we've watched No Way Home.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that Peter Parker in this movie now. of the like not Zen master, but the like I don't know. It made me like it's kind of weird. It ended happy for me. Of like, yeah, you know what? That's where things go.
Especially in that movie when he sees Doc Ock again, he's like, "How are you?" He's like, "Doing better." Trying
And
to be better.
Logan, gosh, she mocked me so hard. Like that movie was just like, this is my whole childhood in this movie, pretty much. Like this is hard.
I remember
Like,
being in the theater for that, and somebody was like, "He's so old." I was like, "Well, it was 20 years ago."
Harry and Peter give a couple hugs before he dies, and they go to the funeral.
That's the movie.
This movie ends so bad, man.
Yeah,
I mean, it ends like there's gonna be another movie,
but there's not.
I'm under the impression if you don't know there is, you end it, dude. You end this thing like no one's business. End it.
Now in this world of audience understands what a multiverse is, and we've had the No Way Home. Make that Spider-Man 4. Make the Amazing Spider-Man 3.
That'd be interesting, honestly.
Yeah. We understand the multiverse. I think.
I got to tell you, Topher Grace quit the 70s show to do this movie.
He did. Dumb mistake.
Terrible decision.
Probably good paycheck.
Good paycheck. You killed that show, and you really didn't have a career after this.
And you've got residual. Well, he's got residuals, and
yeah,
he doesn't need a paycheck after this. He actually, fun fact, he cut together the Star Wars prequels into a coherent movie. He made an edit because he wanted to. He made an edit of the Star Wars prequels and edited them all into one big movie.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't know. Like, was this a weird like?
That's the kind of stuff he does now.
Good friend. Well, Frankie Muniz races cars, so
yeah. He's got a good episode of Steve-O's podcast. He was on that.
Topher Grace or Frankie
Muniz.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's awesome
because it came out of nowhere. I was like, "Oh, it's Frankie Muniz on a podcast. What's he doing?"
I've been following him a good bit. Just I don't know why. I think I got hooked on Breaking Bad, and I was like, "Where'd everybody else go from all that?"
He says he talks to Breaking Bad guy every day, almost.
Yeah. God, why can't I remember his name? Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, he's Bryan Cranston. I want to meet him.
Yeah.
Like, from everything I've read, like that's the most genuine person.
Him and Aaron Paul.
Yeah.
Both of them. But anyway, we move on to what you watching?
Dude, I'm just playing Zelda. That's it.
Yeah. I'm watching
Zelda.
I'm watching Silo on Apple TV Plus.
I'm gonna watch that. You recommended it to me last week. And whenever I get time, I'm gonna do it.
Good. It is the best show. I say a lot of stuff is really good right now, but this is the best show on TV right now.
I'm going to look it up here because there was another TV show.
I've never had the first 2 episodes of a show hook me in so quickly.
I swear this is based off another...
It's based off a book.
I think there's another TV show that was based off that book.
Okay.
I don't know anything about it. I'm to the point.
I didn't know anything about it either. I just heard people living in the ground in a silo. That's all I need to know.
I'm at the point where if I hear something I'm like, that's interesting, I quit looking. Just
I didn't watch the trailers for it at all.
Yeah, I hadn't yet. So I'm gonna probably start that pretty soon.
Yep.
I haven't watched it yet, but Ted Lasso, I still gotta watch it.
I haven't watched the last 4 or 5 episodes of the final season. A show that's about to finish, Barry on HBO.
I haven't watched anything of the last season. I'm waiting until it's all good there, then I'm gonna do it.
Oh yeah, you could finish a season in a couple hours.
Yeah, that's one of the shows where I'm like, I don't want to wait. I want to watch it all.
That show's pretty awesome.
Ted Lasso, hot take. This season, do you hate it? Do you like it?
I don't like it very much. The episodes are too long.
I read an article that was like, you've ruined Ted Lasso. Like, it used to be like a workplace comedy drama.
Yeah, and they've gone
Now it's
splintered off into these other things, and it's like, no, keep it to what made you good. Like,
yeah. And there's moments where I'm like, I love this, but I hate it. Like, I just
because like even the Office did stuff like where they did stuff out of the Office,
but this feels like The Office when Steve Carell left.
Yeah, that's the best way I can describe it. But nobody's left.
Well, you don't see. It's not Ted anymore.
No, it's not. It's not.
And that's fine. Like, I want to see the other people, but I'm following Ted.
There's some
Rory
good episodes.
Yeah,
but
the freaking like Amsterdam episode, that was. I mean, it's great.
Yeah. That episode should have been split into their own separate episodes. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, to relate that back to this movie, this was supposed to be 2 movies.
I believe it.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. Do the Roy and Jamie episode in Amsterdam where they learn how to ride a bike and they become closer. Do that episode. Do a Rebecca episode. Do a Ted episode. Make that 3 30-minute episodes right there.
Yeah, and I think that's where this sucks. Like, you've got so many people, and you know what? Seriously, good on them. Good on them. You want to
made these characters popular. Like,
yeah, and you want to give every supporting person a part. But
yeah,
I don't know. Anyway, I still love it. I enjoy watching it.
First 2 seasons are amazing.
Yeah, and I'm still down. Like, I enjoy it. I know when I watch it, I'm gonna have a field day. I'm gonna love it.
I'm gonna laugh.
When it ends, I'm gonna go. But
yeah. Well, that's it for this week. We'll be off next week.
Yeah, I'm gonna go find some buffalo.
Week after, we're doing The Amazing Spider-Man 2,
starring Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, probably my favorite version of Peter Parker is Andrew Garfield.
I have a hard time of knowing if it's Tom Holland or him.
For me, it's
and he's good. Andrew Garfield is
Andrew Garfield.
I think I prefer Tom Holland, but Andrew Garfield, dude, kills it, knocks it out.
A Spider-Man, I like Tom Holland.
As a Peter Parker, yeah,
is Andrew Garfield. So
yeah, which you know what? Sorry, I know we're closing out, but like watching this movie, Spider-Man's a smart aleck. That's his whole gimmick.
And that's exactly what Andrew Garfield was.
Yeah, it's funny. Like Tobey Maguire, there's nothing. There's no
He's
like
just like a sad, dopey nerd.
Yeah,
and I hate it. Anyway, if you have a suggestion for a movie we should do, you can send that to secondtakemoviespod@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram at Second Take Movies. We're also on YouTube. Go subscribe and look at our faces there.
Yeah, and randomly rack this thing up. I don't know. Let's just go ahead and
keep it going.
Find some random hits.
So for Jake, I'll say we'll see you in a couple weeks with The Amazing Spider-Man 2.